All right, so I think I've got everything fixed. I went through a slew of problems just trying to get this video up and going. Just kind of is what it is sometimes. So we're back on ATS. Obviously, we're doing some hot shot today. Been a while since we've done a video, but we'll get into that in a minute. I gotta say, it's called a storage. I don't know why they're calling it a storage. It's like some kind of like a big silo to me, but it's not a silo. I'm not sure what this thing is for. But anyways, we picked it up at Amish Furniture, of all weird places, in Oakland, California, and we're going down to San Diego to the Lieber factory or company. So I've got that for us and all that stuff. So yeah, sorry, my brain is kind of in a little bit of a fuzz. Oh man, I can't even talk. I don't know if I should be doing a video. So let's get started. We'll go ahead and get our truck running and everything. I ran into a slew of problems, guys. We'll talk about that as we get out of here. So, as you guys know, I've been dealing with a little bit of health stuff, and it's kind of slowed me down a little bit with the videos. We're going to be getting into that today. We're going to be getting into some changes to the channel of how we're doing things. I did not look. Guess we're good to go. This load feels like an oversized load, like I should have my banners and stuff on it.
Turn right.
But it's going to be is what it is. So, all the dumbest places to put a stop sign. I gotta stop 8 miles behind this. Good enough to get going. All right, I gotta get over here. Okay, apologize for all that, trying to get this thing going and stuff. And of course, my voice is gonna be not very nice today about it.
Turn left.
So, don't know why it seems like every time I want to record or stream or just even hang out on voice with some friends, my voice decides that it does not want to cooperate. It was perfectly fine before all this, so I don't know. So anyhow, guys, so we'll just go ahead and get straight to the changes. As you guys know, this is going to kind of coincide with my health and stuff that's been going on. So I've mentioned before multiple times about, you know, this and that happening. Getting this lane for our turn.
Turn right.
It just, you know, my health is not horrible. At times it feels like it's the worst thing in the world to me, but it's just, you know, with the whole feet issue and my legs giving me some problems now, and you know, things like that just kind of had me concerned. And you know, when you're concerned about things like that, it's hard to, I guess, buckle down with other things in life. I know this is going to seem like it's in a lot of riddles and stuff, so are we going to shift? Go. And get our cruise control set. We'll kick back a little bit and enjoy the ride. So, as I've mentioned in the past, that there's a lot of times that I don't, it's not that I don't want to string, it's I don't feel like it. And it's not that I don't want to do the streams itself, I just don't feel good enough to do the streams, if that makes sense. This is a video I've been wanting to get out for several weeks now, but I have yet to get the video done. Slow down for this here. Guess the engine brake's on. I couldn't hear it. But so anyways, you know, with ATS, currently, ATS is the only game that I currently play with wheel and pedals. Now, I would love to branch that out into some of the farming simulator titles and games like that. You know, we all play a slew of games, or at least I do. I know quite a few people out there do as well.
And then turn right.
I'll stay out of here, stupid cars. Yeah, there's just days where I just don't feel the greatest. And with my whole feet problem, it's hard to explain them. But so the problems that I'm having with my feet is those that may not know, I have my feet. Number one, my whole left leg likes to fall asleep, mostly when I'm standing. Um, when it first started, I would be standing for about 5 minutes before my foot was completely asleep. And when I say completely asleep, I mean I couldn't feel it. Somebody could step on it, I wouldn't know. Um, and to give you an example of that, I was doing stuff in the house. I don't remember exactly what I was doing. It might have been cleaning, might have been cooking, and I accidentally kicked the corner of the wall or a piece of furniture or something like that. And we all know how that feeling is when you know, kick the coffee table as you walk to the living room, right? Well, I didn't feel it. I heard a pop, and that toe turned purple for, I don't know, a few days. And I don't know if I bruised it, if I, you know, I don't really know what I did to it. I mean, I could have broke it for all I know. I don't have medical insurance, so going to a doctor is just kind of out of the question. Um, Last time I was in the hospital, it cost me $65,000. So I honestly try to avoid the clinics nowadays, but I still do the whole doctor thing. The past year or so, I've been seeing a doctor. Well, I switched doctors. That's a whole other combinable pain in the rear end I've got going on. But I have switched doctors. So, you know, I've got that going on. Now I've been on some medication to where my it helps me with my foot falling asleep. And what it does is, so far that medication has given me the ability to be on my feet a lot longer. More or less 15 to 30 minutes. Usually it's closer to the 30-minute mark before I can't feel my foot. And it's just a weird sensation. I'm sure pretty much everybody has had their foot or feet fall asleep while, you know, sitting on the toilet or sitting in a weird angle or position. You know, maybe you decided to sit on the couch with your foot under your tushy that day. I mean, it's hard to say. We all do different things. We all do weird things too. But it's just weird when it's doing it as you're standing and trying to move around and do things in the world. And my original doctor, he told me that I was more or less a fall hazard. And when I mentioned that to the neurologist he referred me to, they kind of agreed with me, but didn't come out and agree with me. So I've got that going on. I think that I'd mentioned this in one of my last videos where they've got me considered as a borderline diabetic. So it's a diet change. Now, my biggest guilty pleasure is sodas. I love Dr. Pepper. I love Coca-Cola. And I enjoy a Mountain Dew once in a while. I have been trying to cut back on the sodas. Been trying to drink unsweet tea or lightly sweet tea. You know, I need to drink more just coffee. I used to drink a pot of coffee every day, and I fell out of the wagon. I don't know why, but up in that, you know. And of course, you know, they're wanting me to fully change my diet. You know, the doctor was like, oh, you know, you quit eating the pastas and the rice and the potatoes, and you know, and she starts listing off stuff. I said, what are you trying to do, doc? Starve me? I said, heck, that's all the food that I eat. So there's that going on. And then back on that whole leg issue, you know, I've been dealing with both feet, doing the whole pins and needles thing now. So starting out when I get up, when I first wake up in the morning, other than that, you know, that morning, you know, getting stretched out and moving around, you know, once I kind of get woke up and a little bit mobile, you know, I feel pretty decent, other than, you know, my foot falling asleep or that whole leg falling asleep on me. But as the day progresses, it starts to make a turn for the worst in a sense. So more or less, usually about midway through the day, I'll start noticing my feet feeling weird. I might feel like a stabbing pain, pins and needles on my toes, on the bottom of my toes when I'm trying to walk around to the house. So that makes me a little uneasy. And then as the day progresses, it just turns into, you know, hurting. My feet feel like they're on fire half the time. And, you know, and going back to the whole diabetic thing, well, they're deeming me with high blood sugar. And high blood sugar does that. It will make your feet do weird, funny things and hurt and all kind of good stuff. So it hasn't been cool. And a lot of that's had me on the worry. And I don't want to come on here and complain about my health in every video. you know, and it just feels like that's what I do half the time, is that I complain about my health, or I talk about my health. Well, you guys don't come here to hear about my health. Y'all come here and just to see me play a game or listen to some of my trucking stories. And I apologize that that won't be today as far as the stories are concerned. Um, but it's just kind of some of the things that's been going on, and it slows me down from doing videos. Now the whole feet problem slows me down from doing trucking videos. And I play a whole lot of other games. I currently have on rotation, that's not an even rotation. It's a list of games that I currently play from time to time, and a couple of them I've been playing pretty heavy, pretty much since December. And I play those games. Mostly I play on a multiplayer server on one game with a group of friends, and on there I will not do any videos or possible live streams, which live streams are kind of out of the question right now. That may come back in the future, but it's going to be just videos from now on. So I'm not going to do no videos on this server. Now I will do live streams when friends that want to do trucking or something like that, you know, when that comes up, and I'm all game for it. The group of people I was doing Grand Theft Auto with, which I know there's a fine line between that game, we'll call it. The game has got horrible language and a lot of filthy things going on, and I understand that. I'm a person that likes games that have stories, that has a storyline to it, and a sense of being somewhere, you know, not just something goofy that you just do for whatever reason. Part of the reason why I enjoyed World of Warcraft for so many years, and I still enjoy the game. It's just that's another game I fell out of the wagon on. But anyways, I'm getting way off topic. So, but they had, that group hasn't been on. One of the main guys that was streaming with me, or we had streamed together, he's had a lot of changes with his job and whatever he's got going on, and I don't know what he's got going on. I know that he changed jobs at one point, and I know the job got crazy, and that's really all I know. I know he stays busy, at least with his job, and so he hasn't been on much. I know you guys have heard me talk about Papa, and that we'd been doing a lot of trucking. Well, we haven't done any trucking here in a month or so, and I'm not really sure why we haven't. I don't know if it's just luck of the draw and I've been missing him, or what's been going on. I do miss trucking with him. We always had a lot of fun. We shared a lot of stories, but you know, our lives change over time. I mean, look at my health issues. So anyhow, I know that most of you people that are subscribed to my channel and watch my videos, y'all mostly are here for the trucking and the farming. I know that's been my two games that I do the most of. That would explain why I have you guys as subscribers. And I also want to do a small thank you to everybody that has supported me. Here not long ago, we hit 100 subscribers on the channel, and I actually noticed tonight that it was 101. I wanted to see when the last time I posted a video, which was exactly a month ago. It was the 20th of July. So I want to thank everybody that's been here for me, those that have stuck around all these years with me sporadically throwing a bunch of videos and then nothing for a while, and just kind of back and forth. I appreciate you guys for being here. So because I know I have people that are into my farming stuff and they're into my trucking stuff, I still plan to keep those videos coming. Now the trucking stuff, that's going to be hit or miss because of, like I've talked about with my health and my feet. I'm actually contemplating on doing some testing ideas. So currently I have my computer or this game set up with wheel pedals with a shifter and a button box, which is actually the farm sim side panel, and it works good. Some problems with the farm sim side panel: the buttons don't seem to want to work all the time. Future plans is to disconnect that from the computer, open up the box, see if I can clean up any of the switch contacts and things like that, and see if I can get it to work better. But other than that, I mean, it's been working great, and I really enjoy using the wheel and pedals. But unfortunately, with my feet at times, I just don't feel like it. You know, they bother me too much, and there's been times that even when me and Papa was trucking, you know, we would do a few loads and I tell him, dude, I can't do no more. My feet are killing me. You know, I mean, like right now, these longer trips, I intentionally picked a longer trip so we could have a little time to chat. But, you know, I'm out here on the interstate and I got the cruise control set and I have a footstool under my table here. So I literally have my feet kicked up and I'm just cruising, enjoying the ride. So when I can do that, it works great. But other times than that, you know, when my feet are really bothering me, that's when it becomes a problem. And that there's what slows me down from making videos. And that's what slowed me down from making videos for the past several weeks. Because I know my audience mostly watches the ATS or ETS and Farm Sim. I wanted to make sure that I did this video playing one of those 3 titles more or less, or 2 genres.
Right.
So I wanted, you know, the majority of my audience to know, you know, kind of what's going on and, you know, why things are changing and all that stuff. Bear with me, I gotta take a sip of drink here. Okay. What's thirsty too? Which is another sign of the whole diabetes thing. So anyhow, so I am going to be introducing some more games into the mix. Oh, wait a minute. Let's back up for a second. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. So the thing I'm planning on trying to do inside of the American Truck Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator folders, which are basically identical, the way their folder layouts are and stuff. Inside one of the folders is, and it's in our profile, so it's per profile, is our controls. There's I think it's controls.sii, which is a file, and it has all the controls saved for you know, how I'm having my controls all set up. So my idea is I want to copy that file and I'm gonna put it somewhere else on my hard drive and obviously back it to my external. And it's going to be a spare copy for a moment. What I want to try to do is I want to then reopen the game and reconfigure and put my Xbox controller back for driving. Now I'll still leave the shifter in place for the automatic mode. I obviously won't be able to use it for stick for driving standard, but I can use it. I use it currently for shifting to drive, reverse, and neutral. And so I can keep it for that, and I'll be able to still use the button box for the other things that I've used it for. Now the controller will take over some of that stuff. But the idea is to then once I can get that figured out and get it to work, then my idea is to be able to go, okay, today my feet feel pretty good. I want to use my wheel and pedals. And then I just go into my backup folders for each controller configuration, and I grab the appropriate one and throw it into the proper folder, and then I fire the game up, make sure everything's working fine, and then I can either do a video or just enjoy myself, you know, enjoy the game on my own terms. So that's something I'm considering. As far as the farm sim stuff, that's still going to go on. We're still going to continue our series over on Jordan's farm. I know it's been a long time since I've done anything with it. It's just health, you know. I hate to keep using an excuse, but I just, between the headaches and the feet problems, there's just a lot of days I don't feel that great. Tonight was another example. Now it's currently like 3, according to my phone, it's 3:08 in the morning right now. I went to bed at, so I've been on kind of a night schedule again. Those of you that know me know that I have this little floating day-night schedule all the time. So I went to sleep. Well, I got up yesterday around, I don't know, 2 in the morning or something like that. I got to break on 4 hour speed. But it's only into the 45. Get back on 60. Turn it. So my nights and days are been different. Here lately, I've been going to bed around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and then I'm sleeping until around 2 in the afternoon. That's been kind of a pain because I've been needing to mow the front yard, or actually the whole yard. It's getting tall. I'm fixing to have to see if I don't get out there and mow it in the morning, I'm gonna have to have AK come over and bale the front yard for me. So anyhow, I've been getting up, you know, like I said, around 2 or so. And yesterday was the same thing. Got up around 2 o'clock, and we've been having storms. I mean, I live in Florida. I mean, we have storms all the time, and it's the time of the year too, with it being August and everything. Um, and I try to tolerate my headaches, and I know that sounds bad, but I've been having headaches for over 20 years, with symptoms that match migraines, and it's it's been pretty rough. And unfortunately, I've taken a lot of over-the-counter medication. The last thing I was taking was Tylenol, and unfortunately, I took so much Tylenol that it's actually started to affect my liver, which is awesome, I guess.
Keep left.
So I am not supposed to take any more Tylenol. As a matter of fact, they told me to avoid anything with acetaminophen in it, which is Tylenol and some other medicines. And they said to even avoid alcohol, which here lately I haven't really been drinking that much to start with, but you know, it's pretty serious when they start cutting out things like that because of liver issues. Now my liver is not like super bad. I have elevated numbers, so it's not that the liver is bad yet. It's just that if I continued with the medication and possible drinking, that's how doctors look at it. I was going to really be in some serious problems in a long time. So, considering I've quit taking the Tylenol, and there for a while they wouldn't let me take nothing. I asked them, so can I take an Advil? Can I take this? Can I take that? And I kept getting no's. And then finally they told me, they said, you can take anything you want except anything that has acetaminophen in it. And we want you to make sure that you're only taking what is put on the bottle, what they're prescribing. So here lately, I've been taking ibuprofen. It seems to help, but does not get rid of my headaches. And I take that.
Keep left.
I need over Jeep. I hate to tell you that. Sorry, I had to cut that guy off. So I've been taking ibuprofen, and it dulls the headaches a little bit. But they don't want me to take the medication on a daily basis. They're wanting me to get away from pain medications. They think that I've been taking too much pain medication for too long, and that's what's giving me the headaches. And I understand where they're coming from, but I actually disagree at the same time. So it's just been one of those things where the headaches is now starting to become part of my problems. In the past, I mean, if I had a bad headache, I popped 4 Tylenol and I pushed through the day. And now sitting at home, and back then too, I was in the truck, I was working, I had to make my deadlines, I had to do my things. And so I'm not saying that was the excuse for taking the medication, but it was, reason for me to do what I had to do to continue working. And I think we've all been in that situation at one point or another, and it's caught up to me. And I literally used to take 4 Tylenol every 4 hours. And so you can imagine what that has probably done to my liver and any other organ in me. So because of them not wanting me to really take pain medications, I try not to take anything. Half the time when I take an ibuprofen is about the time I'm ready to go take a nap, and I'm not a napping person, so I try to avoid that even as well. But sometimes my headaches hit a point to where I don't have a choice. I've got to go lay down. And last night was no exception. Last night I laid down around, it was around 8 o'clock at night, 8:30, somewhere around that, which is really early for me unless I'm on a weird schedule. So I went to bed, and then I woke up around 12:30 a.m. So I've been up a few hours, and feel a lot better than what I did when I went to bed. Now, mind you, I still have a headache. My feet feel kind of weird right now. I think going to bed helped them, but and I've had a lot of people say, well, you need to prop your feet up. You need to kick your feet up more often. Well, I kick my feet up under here. And here's the thing. I mean, most of you know that I moved in with my mom to be with her and help her, because she's aging. They took care of us when we were little. It's time to take care of them sometimes. So, living here with mom, that is, taken away a little bit of my gaming time, because I spend my time with my mom. Whether I'm doing things for her, I try to get out and mow the yard, help her cook, clean. or just simply just sit on our tails and we watch TV. We both have been pretty big into Tulsa King TV show on Paramount, and we're way behind, but we try to sit down and we watch TV shows together. We have a lot of shows that me and her both like. A lot of those are your crime style series. Slow down here. You know, the crime series shows. You know, we watch stuff kind of like Law and Order and CSIs and NCIS, things like that. So I hang out with Mom, and the length of time we hang out, it varies. Sometimes I tell her, hey, I'm gonna go lay down, feel good, or I've just had enough TV. Honestly, I'm a hater of televisions, to be honest with you. I always have disliked TV, even as a child. And I'm talking probably kindergarten or first grade. I asked my mom why TVs have so much advertisements on it, and she said, well, it's just the way it is. And I told her, and this was, I was like 5 or 6 years old. I told her I was going to make a TV that didn't have advertisements. And to this day, I still hate advertisements. I hate advertisements on YouTube, on anything I watch. I just don't like them. I don't even like to listen to radio because of ads. But I tolerate them to hang out with Mom. But eventually, over time, I get annoyed by the ads. And, I can get into a show. I can get on, say, Netflix or Disney Plus and watch one of my favorite shows. And I can get into it and stay into it the whole time because of the whole no ad thing. But, by the time, sitting out in the living room and you see all these ads over and over and over again, it's just like, oh my gosh, I've had enough with ads today. So, yeah, we do that. We hang out. Now there's times where I'm hanging out and I'm enjoying watching TV with her. The ads haven't annoyed me enough to want to, disappear to my room and go play a computer game. And then she'll tell me, well, I've had enough TV. And it's not because she's had enough TV. It's because she doesn't feel good either. She is diabetic. And I'm sure she's got other stuff going on here lately. It's been her back. She actually has a fracture in her back somewhere. It's closer to her tailbone area, but I'm not 100% sure exactly where it's all at. But she hurts so bad that there's a lot of times that we don't really watch much TV because she feels the need to go lay on a heating pad in bed, which I understand. So, so that takes away from some of my gaming time. And by the time I jump on here, friends are online and I hanging out with them and end up doing a video. But like I said too, when I'm hanging out in servers and multiplayers with people, unless I know for sure that they don't have a problem with me doing videos and stuff, I just don't do it. And I generally don't ask, and most of the ones that I don't ask probably wouldn't care. They'd be like, fine, have a heyday, enjoy yourself. But I don't know, just like that. I just don't want to do all that kind of stuff. So, but on those days that I don't feel like trucking because of my feet, turn here. Okay, for paying attention, I guess. But on those days that I don't feel like trucking or don't feel like doing Farming Simulator or something like that, or just wanting to share a game that I've been enjoying, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start throwing more games in the mix. And I know that a lot of you guys are here for the farming and the trucking, and I fully understand that. And I don't want you guys to leave, and I'm still going to do those videos. I'm still going to do trucking and ATS, ETS, and I'm still going to do Farming Simulator. Matter of fact, I just started playing FS25 again. When I reinstalled FS25 the other day, I only had about 80. I only had about 80 hours in there, 80 or 85 hours.
400 meters, turn left.
So, why is he telling me to turn? I can't turn left here, dude. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on. I'm planning on continuing the trucking. Like I said, if I've got to switch back to controller, that's what I'm going to do. But I'm going to still try to use wheel and pedal. So when I switch, if I have to switch, you know, I'll try to let you guys know. Yeah,
Turn right.
couldn't couldn't do it today. I had to put the controller on, you know, and that's the whole idea of setting that up, just so that way I can switch that on the fly.
Been my honor
I mean,
to
tonight
see
was a royal pain in the rear because, you know, I turned, you know, the computer was already on. I left it on when I laid down, and I, so the computer was on. I got up, I kind of woke up and everything, put my contacts in and all that fun jazz. And is it inside the building parking? It is. Which door? Might you want to bet it's on the other side of that dumpster? Yep. Or not dumpster, but dump bed. So I get everything ready to go, and I even went to the extent I opened up OBS and made sure it was updated, which it had an update, so I did that. And then I even went and looked at my YouTube to see how long it's been since I'd done a video in general. The last one was car mechanic and all that fun stuff. And then I go into the game, or no, I turned my wheel and pedals on, and it said no bueno. I had no inputs from my wheel and pedals. And then it pops up and says, oh, your computer needs to do an update or needs to do a reboot just to do, you know, to finish, you know, installing it. I'm like, what do you mean finish installing? That's ran through Logitech, but it still wouldn't do nothing. So I am goofing up on this backup job today. Holy. All right, let's try that again. So, you know, it's just kind of been one of those things where, you know, trying to get everything ready to go, and then all of a sudden everything just doesn't want to work. And then I was concerned with my whole wheel and pedals in general, because even after rebooting the computer, I reopened Logitech hub, and it was not even detecting the pedals. And then it finally did detect the pedals, the wheel and pedals. And then for those of you that don't know, in Logitech G Hub, or probably in any other software that relates to your pedals, you know, you can look and see if your pedals are functioning, your wheels moving, and kind of adjust some of your sensitivities before you go into a game. And then in the game is where you finish your final tune. It wasn't even showing them working. And I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. Something's got to be going on with this crap. So I finally just said the heck with it, and I fired up the game. And we're going to go ahead and finish this delivery real quick. Fired up the game, and everything's working. Like, cool. And then I had a brain fart because when I went to my settings, and actually I'll show you all that really quick here. So we got our load delivered here. We'll go ahead and go that real quick. 35,500, 1,000 XP. Yeah, I don't need XPs at all. But I'll show you real quick what I was talking about. So I couldn't get my wheel and pedals to work correctly. So, and everything works fine. But if you go down into here, you know, you can see my wheel is working, you know, accelerator is working right there. That stuff was not showing up in the Logitech G Hub. But where I was goofing, so when I do the Hotshot stuff, I use automatic. And normally when I'm driving a semi, I drive with the H shifter, because I use a 18-speed transmission. My dumb butt put it on simple automatic. Simple automatic uses the gas pedal to go, and then your brake pedal to brake. But then if you take your foot off the brake and hit it again, it will go in reverse and start backing up, and then you use the throttle for your brake when you're in reverse. I have to have it on real automatic. So, so yeah, there was that I had to deal with. I still got to go through. I'm having problems with my clutch working correctly. It seems like it's, you know, when I push the clutch, as you can see, it's right here. But it seems like when I'm about right there, I'm just barely lifting up on the clutch, and it's like it just stalls the motor. I don't know why. And, you know, some of those goofy things that you just kind of have to fix, you know, as you're trying to figure things out. Reverse. Turn the brake off. That'll make a difference. So we'll go ahead and get out of here. This video has been 35 minutes. This hasn't been horrible. If you guys are cool with a little bit longer video like this, I'll start doing these loads around this mileage. I usually do 300-mile runs, to keep us under that half-hour mark. This was 5:09, I think. Let me see. Let's shut this thing down. Neutral, set the brake. Let me go look here. It wasn't here. Hold on. Give me a second. I gotta remember where they put it. They've changed stuff on me. I keep forgetting these. My career progress. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. You can go in here and look at your delivery log in case you didn't know. So 510-mile distance. So I'm thinking we might start doing 500-mile runs compared to some of the other shorter runs that we do. Now, some of these are the stuff I just do on the side when I'm just, just on here goofing off. And sometimes when I'm in here playing, I may not do a video because I might still be like in Discord hanging out with somebody chatting, and I don't want to involve them into a video. But anyhow, guys, so I hope that kind of breaks down what's kind of going on. I'm sorry that I didn't have a story this time for you guys. I'm planning the next one I will. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to shut down this game and go find something else to do because my left foot's already starting to bother me. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to explain it to you guys. So yeah, there's going to be just a quick recap. There's going to be a little bit of changes in videos. ATS and Farm Sim and Euro Truck will still continue, but they'll be separated a little bit more with other games. The other games will just kind of vary on popularity. I know that Car Mechanic Simulator 21 has done me pretty good in the past as well. So I will probably continue that. 26 is supposed to be coming out sometime this year. So I'm planning on switching to Car Mechanic 26 when that releases. And some of y'all seem to be pretty interested in that game from the demo videos. But I'm also going to be probably introducing some other new games. The Cash Cleaner Simulator game, it had very little interest, and I understand that it's not a game for everybody. It's a game that I like to play here and there, so won't be no more videos on that probably. But they'll probably might start throwing some Satisfactory in, and maybe some other games. We'll just kind of see how things go. But just want y'all to know that yes, I will still be continuing the trucking and the farming. But so anyways, guys, with all that blabbering and whatnot going on, I'm gonna go ahead and call it here, and I hope y'all have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.